Sudha Murthy, about the author. Sudha Murthy, 1950-present, is the chairperson of the Infosys Foundation and a member of the Public Healthcare Initiatives of the Gates Foundation. She is a computer scientist and engineer by profession and a well-known author in English and Kannada. She is also known for her philanthropy and corporate social responsibility. She has founded several orphanages, participated in rural development efforts, supported the movement to provide all Karnataka government schools with computer and library facilities, and established the Murthy Classical Library of India. At Harvard University, Murthy initiated a bold move to introduce computer and library facilities in all schools in Karnataka and taught computer science. Summary of In Sahyadri Hills A Lesson in Humility. The story, In Sahyadri Hills A Lesson in Humility, is from the collection Wise and Otherwise A Salute to Life, which was published in 2002. We already know that she is a philanthropist and does work for the benefits of the downtrodden and the victimized people around the world. She also worked with the tribal people who live in the dense forests of Karnataka on the Sahyadri Hills. Her experiences with the simple tribal people bring to her many essential facets of human nature which are still valuable in the 21st century globalized world. Sudha Murthy, In Sahyadri Hills A Lesson in Humility, is an enigmatic tale which provides the readers with many lessons of life. We all try to live life to the fullest without realizing that the meaning of life is not in achieving greater luxuries but moreover in figuring out the right values which can enrich our lives. Sudha Murthy in her works attempts to do the same in a poignant manner which makes her writing so appealing and necessary at the present times. The story is appealing not only because of its narration but also because of the way in which it makes us learn few simple but significant truths about human life as well as the desire of the tribal people to modernize themselves by getting themselves acquainted with the world of information technology too. We may have supposedly scientifically and technologically progressed much today and live a much more comfortable life in the cities and towns, but the essential human values still are significant in our lives as without them we cannot term ourselves as human. In her interactions with the tribal people, Sudha Murthy comes across many such essential human values which she narrates in this book for the sake of the readers. The essence of the story lies in the line, "Give when you take, do not take without giving." As suggested earlier, Sudha Murthy was a philanthropist and she travels far off places, in remote areas to meet people and do whatever is possible for her to do for them so that the world can become a better place to live in. In one such journey, she goes to Sahyadri Hills, one of the densely populated forests of Karnataka. Her intention of visiting there was to go to a tribal school where she was to meet the school kids and do whatever she can for their benefit. When she reached there, she figured out that the school consists of an old thatched building which the tribal people have built themselves, and it is just a small room with 2 chairs, 2 tables and a blackboard with a pot of water beside it. Just these basic amenities were there and there was no electricity, so the question of electrical bulbs or fans was out of question. Moreover, she figured out that the school has no paid employees and the person who worked as her tour guide was the watchman and the peon of the school. Sudha Murthy came to know that the children in the school want to learn about computers and are very eager to gain knowledge in variety of other subjects. They also want the books to be in Kannada language. Sudha Murthy promised that she would definitely try to look into the matter once she reaches Bangalore, and also promised them that if she cannot find anyone else to write the book, then she will write it herself. This made the tribal kids very happy as they felt truly elated at this gesture of Sudha Murthy. Sudha Murthy, as a goodwill gesture for her visit, had brought clothes and umbrellas for the children in the school, but when she tried to give these gifts, the senior-most person of the village, Thandappa, refused to accept these as he was of the view that, "Give when you take, do not take without giving." This truly impressed Sudha Murthy as she has never experienced such a kind of thing in all the philanthropic deeds that she ever did. Thandappa had offered her a bottle of juice made from a red fruit which Sudha Murthy had refused, thinking that how can she accept things from these poor tribal people who do not have enough for themselves. But she realizes that Thandappa and the tribal people value their self-respect and would not accept anything from anyone if it is done with the objective of charity. Thandappa then explained to Sudha Murthy that it is a tradition that is being handed down to them by their ancestors and they cannot but deviate from it. This highly impressed Sudha Murthy, and she understood that grace is not there only in giving, but also in accepting. Critical appreciation of in Sahyadri Hills A lesson in humility. Humility is a value which is highly underrated in today's globalized world, where everyone is busy showing off their achievements and getting accolades that are supposedly due to them. Corporate world is busy in making profit, and for them the policies and guidelines need to be put into place to make them aware of their corporate social responsibilities. Similarly, we also have some responsibilities towards our society, but more often than not we tend to forget about them and tend to live in our fun-filled balloon. Sudha Murthy is not one of such individual who is busy with her own world, but feels that it is only by doing her bit for the society at large that she can get some kind of joy of her living. So she continues with her philanthropic works, as she feels it is her work which gives her the essential inspiration to carry on with life. Sudha Murthy feels that she should carry on with her act of giving because she has enough with her, and by giving away something to others, nothing is going to be lessened. So she carries on with her philanthropic work, thinking that it is a graceful way of living when one thinks and feels for others and does work for others' benefits and their development. We often fall into the trap of thinking that we are great when we are able to give and help others. But when Sudha Murthy makes us meet Thandappa, we realize that one should also take gracefully, and one can only do so when one can give when you take, do not take without giving. This gives a new meaning to the whole notion of giving and taking. It makes us look at the ways of the world from a different perspective. Humility is a jewel which very few of us have in this world. It's a rare gem. Often we have a great notion about ourselves. We feel that we are the ones who are the most important people on the earth, even though we may not have much to offer. This kind of self-importance often leads to our doom. But the people who are conscious of their ways, they show humility, as they know that they are but pawns in the great game called life, and thus only by being humble and down to earth can they live a simple and good life. Thandappa and the tribal people of the hills that Sudha Murthy visits may be living a poor life and do not have modern amenities such as electricity, computers, books and even nutritious food all the time with them to live a luxurious life, but what they have is a value of life which makes their life richer than us. They are humble people, they have humility and they have simplicity which we often lack in our lives. Sudha Murthy went to the Sahyadri Hills to help the tribal people, but instead of helping them, she herself learnt a lesson or two about life which is essential not only for her, but for the whole of humankind. Therefore, she makes the effort of writing down these experiences so that from her own experiences we can also learn a few valuable things about life and can make our own lives much better. Apparently, we, the supposedly modern cultured people of the city, think about ourselves to be the most civilized and also have a tendency to look down upon tribal people to be lacking culture and civilization. But this view is completely wrong and biased and needs to be changed so as to make ourselves better human beings. Culture is a very important concept in today's life. Culture does not mean the ideals of the rich or the ruling class people. Culture is not what is best thought and written about humankind. Culture means a way of life as defined by Marxist philosopher Raymond Williams. This seems also to be the mantra of the story, as when Sudha Murthy goes to the tribal village she meets the tribal people and learns significant lessons of human life, humility as it is practiced by the tribal people of Sahyadri Hills, which they have got as a legacy from their ancestors. This kind of cultural heritage of India is something which makes Indian civilization great and becomes a reason of boasting to the world, where people are in the mad race of money making. The tribal people are not uncultured as most people would like to believe, but they also have a rich culture of their own, a culture which is equally rich, if not more than the culture of the city-bred people. We who live in the city feel ourselves to have accomplished much with our modern-day gadgets and malls, but it is the simplicity of life, the humility of existence of man which makes the people of the Sahyadri Hills much richer than all our scientific developments as well as money. In Sahyadri Hills, Sudha Murthy had learned a lesson which is so important for human living that she could not but share it with us and make us enrich our lives by reading it. This piece of writing by Sudha Murthy makes us have a look at ourselves, our culture, our way of living, and can go a long way to taking some concrete steps to enrich our lives.